never seen her. It was about 5 minutes ago when I seen her hottest chick that a youngin' never seen before. I say, yo, tell the girls I wanna meet her.
Hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Justice, but you guys can call me Jay. Welcome to, oh my god, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. This is my first little sit down video, and I'm really excited because I love sit down videos. They're literally just a way to express everything that you want to say to other people, but can't say to other people. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a bunch of high school advice that I honestly wish I had before I started high school. Half of this stuff is stuff that I had to learn and teach myself throughout my 4 years. I have been through it all. And I have a lot to tell you guys. I actually made this like over the summer and I just never got around to it. Like it just didn't feel like the right time to talk about things. But this is gonna be the honest and real truth. So get comfortable, get your snacks, because we have a lot to cover. Alright, first up on the list. So I made a bunch of categories and then wrote down anything that I thought was relevant. Went back and highlighted the things that I thought were not talked about enough and that I wanted to really cover, that I have a lot to say about. The first up for assignments and tests is studying. Depending on how rigorous the class is, I will study everything in a different way so I can retain the material better. For me, when I'm in math class, it doesn't matter what it is, the best way to record notes is to have my notebook, a bunch of little flashcards, sticky notes, and just colorful like stationery. And you may be like, how is stationery going to help me study? How is it going to help me pass my test? When your notes are more engaging and catered towards you and creative, it'll make you more susceptible to actually opening them up and studying. Because when you have bland notes that are given to you and pre-made by a teacher or a lesson planning website, or they're just like random scribbles that you manage to take down within the first 5 minutes of you actually paying attention in class, you're not going to want to study those because they're boring. They're not fun. Like, who wants to stare at a blank piece of paper with a plus b equals c minus x squared? Like, no. Versus a nice little organized notebook that has visuals and fun colors, maybe even some doodles here and there. So we don't really take notes a lot. These are from like the very beginning of the school year, so that's why they're a little like shoddy. But even just simplicity like this with still color, like it actually like helps me focus, and it gives me something to do so I'm not, you know, tempted to look at my phone or talk to my friends because I'm too busy taking down notes. Here's another example and another one. And just like color coding them. Some of the stationery I use include sticky notes and flashcards that match. Like I'm always gonna be that girl that has a sticky note for you to use. I have tape, I have a mini stapler in here somewhere, scissors, highlighters, just like the basic necessities. And that's how I keep myself engaged. Like, it's fun. Like, I'm like, okay, wait, I remember that the things that I need to study, I did them on a blue sticky note because like blue is my favorite color. So this is going to be fun. Let me go back to that section and read over it. Or if your favorite color is orange, hey, let me use like different shades of orange sticky notes so I can mark down what I need to and what I don't need to study. Like what is relevant to my assignment, like what material I need to focus on, you know? Take notes productively, but stay creative. Because creativity feeds the mind. You cannot learn without creativity, and teachers and school systems really need to acknowledge that and learn that. If they don't teach it, then you guys don't know about it, and then you're going to be sitting there struggling in class like I was my first couple of years. Like if you have a Mac or just any other computer that you bring to school and you can take notes on there, I highly recommend doing that too, because I did that for my forensic science class. I took forensics my second semester of my sophomore year. There is a lot. Like whether you're taking it in high school or college, you know how many notes you have to take. It was like 99% notes and 1% labs. But I made them fun, and I would do these on my Chromebook, and while everyone else was doing them on just pieces of paper, I was sitting here making visuals. Like, I would take the photos from the slides that our teacher would post, and I would make all of these. Like, I would color code them. Like, these are from like every period, and I would just make them so fun. It's literally just endless notes. Like, I'm telling you, it works. All right, the next chapter I have for you guys is take advantage of any and all time. I slacked on this my first 3 years, especially during my freshman year because it was COVID and I didn't want to use my free time to do school. The school year, like my senior year, I've really been putting my foot down and like grinding. This year, I've really been putting my foot down and grinding to stay on top of my grades and schoolwork. And I really have I actually don't have any missing assignments because of that. I go to the library when I can, when I'm in a class and there's nothing to do or little work, like minimal work, I will work on another class. And granted, I have 4 classes right now because I have a half schedule, but still, do what's hard first. I get it out the way. Don't exceed your limits. Like, for the love of God, do not push yourself to an extent that stresses you out and causes you to have a breakdown, because mental breakdowns are a serious thing and you need to be taking them as such. Like, they're not just something that's like, oh, well, everybody experiences it, so it doesn't matter if it happens to me. No. That's how you fall into the rabbit hole of depression and anxiety and just anything else that can cause you to have academic failure. I would do that to myself during freshman year, when we had COVID going on. It broke me down. It broke me so hard. Like, I literally had to repeat freshman geometry my junior year because of that, because I failed, because I pushed myself too hard. If you don't think you can handle 3 APs and 6 honors, then don't do it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're trying to get into Yale or Harvard. You're gonna be able to get there if you're sitting there failing because you're doing too much and you're putting too much on your plate. All right, now for the juicy stuff. Relationships, because this is what everybody wants to know. It's not all that. That's coming from someone who's been through so many times. This is stuff that I've learned within myself as a high schooler. You may like the attention you get from being seen as like dateable or likable and then being in a relationship. But then once it ends, that thrill just is taken away just like that. And you're miserable. But then after like the misery like fades away, you get that sense of clarity and you're like, wait a minute. I don't need to date anyone right now. I'm me. I'm her. I'm him. I got my own stuff together. They don't. Just focus on yourself and let things come naturally to you. Because you're gonna go through that phase where you're like, I want to date. I don't want to date. Do I even want to be in love? And it's just gonna like eat you up inside. You're just constantly centering everything in your life around dating. Do not send subliminal messages. Like, I don't know why that's such a common thing, especially with guys, to just beat around the bush. Like, just be honest. Like, y'all are about to be adults. Communication is key. Like, if you actually want something real, you need to communicate. If you don't, you still need to communicate. It's really not that hard to be honest. I promise you, it's gonna make things a whole lot easier when you're honest first thing versus holding things in and then crying and whining at the last second when things blow up in your face. It's so avoidable. All right, the last thing for this category is do not feel like you need to rush anything like the second you get into high school, if you know what I mean by rushing. Because once you do it, you can't take it back. And it's going to be engraved in you and engraved in that other person for life. So make sure when you do like finally feel like you're ready, that you are actually ready and that you made the conscious decision to do it. Not them, not your friends, not the internet, not any other outside influence. That it was a totally you decision. And make sure it's with someone that you're comfortable with. Because there's nothing worse than doing it with someone that you're going to regret. being with later on in life, whether it's temporary or prolonged, like your guys' relationship. All right, next category is college. I'm going to keep this one short and brief because I don't have a lot to say about it. Besides, stop letting people tell you that community college and not going to college is bad. If you want to go to community college and knock out your first 2 years and get your associates, or you just want to save some money, or you just want to get a certificate instead of a degree, then do it. It's your life. If you don't want to go to college and you want to just jump into a career or go into the military, then do it. Because it's your life. Stop letting people tell you how to live your life. Because you know what's best for you, not other people. Because not other people have experienced everything in the same way, at the same time, in the same places, the same way you have. And those experiences are what is shaping your future and your thought process. Because you don't see anyone who doesn't go to college or is going to community college telling people going to a 4-year or pursuing an even higher education like a doctoral or a PhD. Like, hey, you can't do that. You shouldn't be doing that because I said so. Like, no, you see them like applauding these people for doing this. And then those same people feel so entitled that they downplay your own achievements just because you're not doing down the same path as you. Like, it's like the game of life. The game gives you the options to choose your own path. So don't rack on the other players for what they choose just because you didn't get to influence them. Because who knows? That person who's sitting there saying that you need to go to college may go to a 4-year and try to get their bachelor's and drop out after their 2nd year because they realize that it's not for them. Or they may complete their 4 years and realize that it was a waste of their time and that they wanted to just jump into a career, or they didn't even want to do the thing that they majored in. While you're sitting here taking your time and learning and figuring out what you want to do, especially if you take a gap year right after graduation of high school, like you're setting yourself up for success, but in your own way, at your own pace, at your own time. So don't let people tell you otherwise. Friend groups aren't perfect, and I will be the first one to tell you that. You can have a friend group, but you can still have other friends and be social, because the friend group is not going to last forever and it's not going to be perfect. Like, there's always going to be drama. There's always going to be some people that just don't see eye to eye. So don't go into high school thinking that, oh, I'm going to find the perfect friend group with all these people and we're going to live happily ever after. Like, no. It's just not how it works. That's not how life is. Alright, and the last category for this video is going to be all about EU. This is the most important one, and I wanted to save the best for last. You're gonna change. Like, you are not going to be the same person you were when you first started high school. You weren't the same person you were when you started elementary or left elementary school or started or left middle school. Don't fear change, because 1, some of y'all really need it. And 2, it's literally a part of life. Like, why would you want to stay the same way that you were when you entered high school? Like, your maturity levels fluctuate, your likes, your dislikes, all of that. It's going to change. Like, I literally went from wearing cat ears my freshman year and wanting to have a kidcore aesthetic and playing gacha life to who I am now. Don't be afraid to take time and focus on yourself. Like, for me personally, I keep my phone on do not disturb all day, every day. My phone is always, like, you can literally see, like, it's always on do not disturb. And the only apps I allow are these ones that, like, I actually need notifications for, or if I'm gonna, like, forget something. Trust me, just try it out. Even if it's for just like a little bit, like while you're studying or cleaning or just having some like you time, it is literally a life changer. Especially if you're one of those people that's always on their phone. Like, it has decreased my screen time so much, and every week it goes down even more. Like, it's absolutely heavenly. Don't feel like you need to like urgently reply to people. Like, there's a difference between ignoring and just like slow responses. Like, if it's been 3 days and you haven't replied to someone, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. But if they text you at like 11 o'clock in the morning, don't feel like you need to reply by like 11:30. Like if you reply at 2 o'clock, that's perfectly fine. If you reply at 8 o'clock, that's fine. Who cares? Alright guys, and that is literally all the advice that I have that I felt the calling to give you guys. If you guys took anything and resonated with it, please let me know in the comments, and feel free to like express anything that you have if you're a current or former or even upcoming high schooler and just want to share some advice or need some, because this channel is always going to be a safe space for people to communicate and help each other out. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell, and like I said, leave a comment down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday and Happy New Year's. Bye babes.
I cannot fuck with you, baby.